So I'm like, I'm just going to send you a link to that page, which is what I just told John. I said, by the way, he just sent me this. I sent him the event page, which is how I go to it because I don't look at emails that are sent, and I just go to that page in order to figure it out. So that's awesome. I was just totally curious. Thank you very much for being here. I just got back from Chicago. I loved how type A everyone was. I miss that. I miss it. I totally do. But in your first poem, you talked about all of the different masks that people have. And I wore, and even in the show that I did, I said I had something about removing the mask, and I had two masks on, and one had the mouth actually removed, and then I had another mask on top of it. And I took off the top mask, and it just had an outline of a mask, and I read my first poem with a mask with my lips there. And people were like, in Chicago, they were like, yeah, it's awesome. But it was funny because Lynn West, I'm going to talk a little first, Chicagoan who got COVID last year, she's like, I want to have a mask made that says, kiss me, I've had COVID. And so I did. I designed it for her, and I'm like, I feel really bad because I haven't had COVID, so I can't buy it or use it. And then this January, even though I was vaccinated 3 times and had the booster shot, I got COVID, which when people hear it, it's like getting a cold, you know, it was okay. But I'm like, oh, well then I'll have to make one myself, and I use my own lips on it. And so I've got this thing that says, kiss me, I've had COVID, written on a mask with my lips on it. And so that's what, like, so we all get to have our own masks, and that's why I just thought it was funny. And you talked about all the different masks we have. So I had to show the kiss me, I've had COVID mask to be able to share with you. Anywho, but thank you very much for being here, Michael MC Rydell. I appreciate you. We all do. And that calls to the end of round 1, I believe. So I'm going to read a couple of poems before we start off in round 2, and I will go and share poems from the most recent issue of Down in the Dirt magazine. It's a water theme. CC&D had the theme with the seaweed garden, and Down in the Dirt has Seahorse. Seahorse is the cover of the sky. I just think they're so cool looking when you get the shots of these things. And they're based on accepted writing of the issue, which is where we get it from. And I'm going to start with periodic table poems. Somebody had asked, and when they have writing in there something about lithium, so then I'll have lithium poems, which is why I've been like so hyping these poems that you've been seeing so much from me. I hope you don't mind. But these first 2 poems that are in here, and they don't have images that come with them. The first one is called Lithium. They're both about lithium. This first one is a Twitter-length one called Lithium to Calm My Nerves. Coca-Cola may have once contained cocaine, but the original 7-Up had lithium citrate to medicate mood swings. The Howdy Corp made bib label lithiated lemon lime soda. When then Howdy became 7-Up, lithium soda became, well, illegal. But don't worry, we'll still subvert the system for drugs. This is how you try to fit things into a Twitter-length poem, which is what this short one was for Twitter-length periodic table poems. But here's a one that is just a little longer about it for you, and it's for the poem Lithium. I know I needed you around me. I was desperate. I know I wanted you in my life to calm me down. I know I needed you to stop me from my manic episodes. They told me it's not an addiction I have with you, but then you told me that if I broke away from you altogether, I would just cycle back to my old psychotic, unhealthy ways. So please don't tell me I'm crazy for wanting you, but I just couldn't stand being me anymore. I was desperate for you. I wanted to feel normal again. You were the one to calm me down, but the thing is, you were the one that was also supposed to help me with my poor judgment and aggression, because when I was with you, I felt like my blood was on fire. With you around, I couldn't eat anymore. I felt dizzy with you. I'd feel tremors and twitching. You made me unsteady. On the surface, you seemed soft to me with your silver white hair. With your lightness, I forget how metallic you were when we joined. And now, look what we've become. When we finally got together, when we fused together, we were finally ready to take each other in. We became the source for the most violent explosion. We became a part of a preordained cycle I couldn't escape. We became radioactive and caused something so unstable that we destroyed everything we had. You helped me destroy everything that was me. Okay. I'm done with the periodic table stuff, at least in this one I am, I swear. But I thought I'd find something toward the end of this issue for you. On a little bit of a lighter note, haha, this one is titled, Like I Was Never There. So, I decided to sneak off one night to go camping with Sam and Vern. We all rolled out our sleeping bags on the far side of a field at night. Sam had brought a hurricane lamp, but he didn't have any oil for it. So, him and Vern went down the street, broke into a garage there, and got a can of lawnmower gasoline. Because, you know, it makes perfect sense to use gasoline in your oil lamp. But anyway, in the darkness, by the street, in the dark, they planned to fill this hurricane lamp with gas. But in the shadows, they couldn't see what they were doing. So Sam said that he needed more light so that he could fill this oil lamp with gas. So Vern decided to pull out his lighter. Vern, the bright one, was going to light the way, I suppose. And Vern lit his lighter, but there still wasn't enough light. Keep in mind that they were hiding in bushes by a street with a lamppost. What to do, what to do. Sam asked Vern to move the lighter closer. I mean, these two flunked their way through a couple of years of high school, and I know I was young, but I knew this wasn't a good idea. So I started to back away. After I turned around, Vern apparently got the lighter too close. I was already 20 feet away when I felt the heat and saw an orange glow from the fireball. I started to run, but as I was running, I looked back and I saw two fireballs in the air. One was the lantern and the other was the gas can, and I swear to God, this lantern crashed down into the street. The gas can landed uphill from the lantern, pouring gasoline down the street. So flames then ran up to the gas can, further spreading the street fire. I grabbed my sleeping bag and ran. I heard the sirens, and I had to act like I was never there. Okay, I got that one out of the way. That's just way too funny to me. I'm sorry, it just is. I had to act like I was never there. No, I wasn't doing anything. No, I just snuck back in. You didn't even hear from me. I'm fine. Anywho. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm trying to keep them, like, you know, a little bit humorous at times on these if I'm going to give you periodic table stuff. I don't think I'm going to do that in the final round for you guys, but I thought I'd hope you guys enjoyed those. And up we are for round two. And people also wondered, and I think it is... no, I don't know if it's 440 or not. We'll go through a full round if that's all cool with everybody instead of being the straight 2 hours before we retire. So I hope we're up for round number 2 because that means, of course, John F. McMullen is the first and then Patricia would be following him. So, John, are you ready, my darling?